you. Good to have you. And how are you? So, you did your new house already? It's been crazy. It's been great. Thanks for remembering. Home ownership. Yes. So just taking that moment to get settled. Hi, Deb. Hi, Sam. Good to see you both. Marion is gone for the month of October, so we will see her back when we meet again in November. So, hello, everyone. And welcome to the Mindfulness Street Meditation community. It's always such a joy to see everyone, and after a little bit of a pause. So, we're going to start with our opening meditation, and I'm going to incorporate a little bit of the meditation on joy, since that's one of the practices that he talks about in the book. And so we're going to begin. Listen, listen. The sound of the bell brings me back to my true home. So taking your comfortable seat, arriving and settling, making this transition from what came before, joy of seeing people we haven't seen for a little while, and all of the things that led up to coming here. And then what is to come is not here yet. So the invitation is to be present, be aware, to bring our attention to this present moment. Process of settling. We may notice some sounds, the ambient sound of the air handlers, perhaps sounds outside. Just note them. And also the process of settling. There might be thoughts. Also some physical sensations. Take our attention for just a moment. So allow those sensations and sounds to simply pass away. Just aware of the body. Sitting here in the present moment. Not the past, not the future. Perhaps bringing a smile to your face. Bringing a sense of enjoyment. Sitting. Nowhere to go. Nothing to do. Just present moment. past, no future, simply now. As you sit, bring a sense of relaxation to the body. That at any time you take a few moments to be present, you can sense the peace and also the safety that comes with sitting, knowing exactly where you are. Just notice what relaxation feels like in the body. It might be pleasant, or if you've got things to do later, maybe you're a little anxious. But this moment is all we have. Into this time, we invite mindfulness. The Pali word is sati, which carries with it the idea of gentleness, softness, curiosity, and spaciousness. So let this be your experience, whatever it might be. Opening to awareness. Sometimes when we practice, it takes a few minutes to allow everything to settle, to arrive, to notice what maybe you weren't paying attention to before. And notice the beauty and the wonder of this present moment. Notice that the body is breathing. So I invite you to take 3 deep inhales and 3 deep exhales. And with each exhale, just allow the body to relax a little bit more into your seat. And then allow the breath to come to a normal pace. And the invitation is to follow breath in whatever way is helpful for you, either counting breaths or saying in and out, breathing in, I calm my body, breathing out. Following the breath as the object when we sit helps us to center our minds. It helps us to quiet the constant internal chatter that often arises. Not that we totally quit thinking, the mind does. It helps us to focus. It's one method of concentration, but not concentration that is hard and forceful, but rather just a gentle touch, and we can be present following the breath. Just notice that your mind does tend to wander, that you can always come back and start again, counting or noting breath. Each time we come back, we are strengthening our practice through concentration. Concentration that is gentle and inviting. Especially if you suffered from seasonal allergies or cold or an illness where breathing was difficult. Notice if it's not difficult today, how it feels. The relief that comes with being able to enjoy each breath. Thich Nhat Hanh talks about the seeds that we all have in our seed storehouse. And there are helpful seeds, seeds of goodness. And there are those seeds that sometimes arise that are not helpful, that cause suffering. And so the next part of this meditation is going to bring to mind joy, which is a positive seed, a seed that can nurture happiness. So I invite you now, continuing to notice the breath, but bring to mind something or someone who brings you joy. It could be a person, it could be a place, an activity, a being who is in your life. Just take a few moments to visualize this as much as possible. Perhaps even bringing a smile to your face as you think of the person or the place with the activity. It could be the wagging of a tail, purring of a cat, or the squeal of joy of a child who's in your life, or an activity that brings you joy simply as you immerse yourself in it. When we bring these types of memories to mind, we are planting seeds of happiness and joy. These can be available to us regardless of what kind of circumstances we might be experiencing. Allow yourself to experience the feeling of joy and happiness. It doesn't have to be separate from suffering. It simply can be present. And notice how the body feels. Sense the warmth, perhaps the warmth in your chest. Perhaps it brings a smile to your face. Just allow yourself to sink into the feelings of joy. Allow yourself to rest in this sense of joy. Perhaps allow it to expand outward to the other people in this room, into our community, and realizing we can bring this to our experience in daily life whenever we want. And someone might have a frown on their face or an angry word. We can bring a sense of joy. Back to the breath as a place of rest and safety. And come back. So in closing this time of formal sitting, I'm going to share with you a poem by Mary Oliver that appeared on my Facebook page this morning feed, and it was so appropriate. She writes, if you suddenly and unexpectedly feel joy, don't hesitate. Give into it. There are plenty of lives and whole towns destroyed or about to be. We are not wise and not very often kind, and much can never be redeemed. Still, life has some possibilities left. Perhaps this is its way of fighting back that sometimes something happens better than all the riches or power in the world. It could be anything, but very likely you notice it in the instant when love begins. Anyway, that's often the case. Anyway, whatever it is, don't be afraid of its plenty. Joy is not meant to be from. Opening your eyes. Thank you for your practice. And in our book, Thich Nhat Hanh talks about enjoying and liking sitting and liking walking. And so I would say that that sort of is a way of thinking about joy. So as we move to the sanctuary for walking meditation, I invite you to take that joy into each step. You know, there are different ways of thinking of it, that kissing the ground with each step. You know, we're in a building, but just thinking of bringing that joy to the steps that we move. And just as a reminder of how we do it, I'm not going to make you follow me today, like we did 2 weeks ago, but just choose a pathway of about 15 feet or so and stop, notice where you are, eyes open, and then proceed at whatever pace feels comfortable for you. And just perhaps even thinking the word joy with each step. But however you want to practice it, I invite you to practice whatever way is helpful for you. And Cindy, you're going to stay here in the room, so if you've got belongings, they're going to be safe. So you proceed. Thank you for your practice and for being part of this. And what we're going to do is we're going to watch 5 minutes of a video. But before we do that, because we had that little bit of a break when Mark and I were away, why don't we just go around the room, say your name? Just that's a way of introducing ourselves. And we'll start with Randy and move this way. So, and then maybe just a word about how you experience the meditation.
So my name in one word.
And one word, yeah.
Randy.
Peaceful.
Penny, joyful.
Mark. Joyful.
Great, Helen.
Fran, struggling.
Finish. Auxiliary.
Christine. Peaceful. Laura, comforting.
Cindy.
Peaceful. Thank you, everyone. Really appreciate it. Because it's your experience, and that's important. So welcome to all who are here. And please say your name. Yes.
Molly.
And how did you experience one word for the meditation? I put her on the spot.
Okay.
So it's good to see everyone. Thank you so much. And didn't mean to put you on the spot.
That's okay.
So what we're going to do for the first 5 minutes of today's session, and I'm going to stop the recording after we're done with this, is Mark and I went to Sacred Heart High School on Friday. And I was invited, Mark came with me, and he contributed mightily. And they do, for the senior class, they do a whole unit on world religions. And so they asked me to talk about Buddhism. We wore our Tibetan clothes, and we talked a little bit about Tibetan Buddhism in our trip to Nepal, but we talked about Buddhism. And part of the class was we had them watch this video that's 20 minutes, but we just watched the last like 5 or so minutes of this. And I wanted to play it for this group because what it was a senior project about 6 years ago by a senior in her high school. And they are members of the Sacramento Buddhist Church in Sacramento, California. And this comes out of the Jodo Shinshu Japanese form of Buddhism. And it's the Buddhist Churches of America, and they chose the word church for their temples way back, when they knew that that was probably the right word to fit in with in the United States. This particular church was founded in 1899. So it's celebrating its 125th anniversary. So it's 25 years older than Trinity. So I want you to just hear the reflection of some of the adult leaders, but also the kids, because the teenagers, the young people, because I think that it gives the idea of what is a sangha about, what is a group. And we might not be teenagers,
but we might be
Like
able
as a
to-
teenager, I'm obsessed with like newest technology, newest like clothes and stuff, but just kind of realizing what really matters in life and what Buddhism has taught me has helped me realize that I don't need any of that stuff to have real happiness or have real deep appreciation for others, and it's just helped me become more of a grounded individual.
High school can be very difficult for a lot of kids, and especially nowadays. High school is much more difficult than when I was in high school, and it wasn't even that long ago. Or at least I like to think it wasn't that long ago. People, high school kids probably think it was a long time ago. But I think because it's such a difficult time, it's very hard to know that it gets better. That part of Buddhism is realizing that everything is impermanent, that everything will pass, and to have faith that life does get better.
I think teens can gain a sense of, certainly having a sense of humility, being humble, and again, that having that sense of gratitude. It's something that maybe you don't realize as a teenager, but if we plant that seed, regardless of what age, I think if eventually you get to that point of being a humble person and have a sense of gratitude, I think that's the best we can do as teachers.
How to share things and work together and be always forgiving. You can't be a winner all the time, and it's okay to lose sometime because that's a lesson learned. If you're competing against each other, there's always going to be a winner and a loser, but either one of them are winners because you even get to that point to compete. And it's being fair, and I think that's a lot harder for them at that age to know that. And I think they have to go through it pretty roughly before they understand it.
So one of the key principles of Buddhism is impermanence as well as interdependence. I think in high school, especially, you learn that things are always changing. You know, you're not going to be friends with the same people. You're not going to keep in contact with everyone, and then you're going off to college. So I mean, it's the biggest step you're basically going to take in your life. And I think having Buddhism there, it helps me at least understand like everything's going to change. Nothing will be the same, and I just have to accept the fact that things will get better even if they get worse.
For me, Buddhism has had a huge part in my high school life. I think the teaching of mindfulness has really stuck with me. In everything I do and everything I go do, whatever, I always remind myself that I have to really live in the moment and accept that everything how it really is, and take in everyone's perspectives. And it just made me a more open person and open-minded person. So, yeah.
So also, I feel like I've really taken Buddhism and tried to incorporate it into my own life through being more mindful about my actions and even like taking responsibility for my life and what I'm doing, knowing that if I want something to happen or if I want to like live my life a certain way, that's on me to make that happen, I guess. So I guess just being more mindful about the people around me, how I affect other people, how I affect myself. That's just really shaped me throughout the past 4 years of high school.
Also to be able to kind of, I guess live just up to the fullest. Don't take anything for granted. You're never gonna have the same feeling again.
Okay, Buddhism has positively affected my life, especially as a teenager, because right now, I think that everyone is really like insecure and trying to find themselves and focusing a lot on what other people think of them. And it's something that I do a lot, and I know like a lot of my friends do a lot. And Buddhism is kind of a way that makes you think like, oh, like I'm exactly who I should be at this point in my life, and I can grow and be responsible for myself, but like it's not on other people, and I just have to like kind of work on things myself, do everything. And yeah, it's very cool. It's helped me grow as a person.
Yeah, definitely.
Being a teenager is very stressful. There's a lot of work, there's a lot of pressure that's put onto you. So I think Buddhism, at least in my life, it's helped me actually take things slow, to slow things down, and to just appreciate every little moment, because I keep hearing adults keep saying like, oh, you're gonna love being a teenager, like you're never gonna have something like this ever again. And I think this year as a junior, I'm taking that to heart, and I'm really appreciating and living in the moment for with my friends or with my family, because like I agree with them now that it won't happen ever again. So Buddhism has helped me realize that.
I think in terms of being, like the age that I am, like in being a teen and being kind of like a young adult in college, I think the way that I've applied Buddhism is, well, in a sense, to a large facet of my life, like in terms of change, in terms of, going off to a new school, like that's all very new and scary. Yet we have to be accepting of that truth. We have to be accepting that life is ever changing. And I don't know, I think that's been a way that I've been able to, not necessarily cope, but like more of get through the life that I've lived so far. So.
And I think with high school students, my objective is this. I don't try to teach anyone in the sense of like in a preaching way. I don't try to fix anyone in the sense that we are all, that we need help or we have things that we have to deal with or problems. So I don't try to fix anyone. I don't try to advise anyone in that regard specifically. I think more than anything else, dealing with teens as an adult figure, I think it's important to try your best to just listen to them and feel what they're going through, and just try understand them, because everybody doesn't want to be fixed, but they do want to be heard and they do want to be understood. So basically, I really just hang out. That's really in a nutshell. We just put in our time together. We just hang out.
What does Namo Amida Butsu mean?
Namo Amida Butsu means I bow my head to the truth of enlightenment, to wisdom and compassion, the contents of the Buddha's enlightenment.
Namo Amida Butsu literally means taking refuge in Amida Buddha.
The placing of our hands together, people often attribute this to prayer, but it is not prayer. Because in Buddhism we don't have a creator God that we pray to. There is no supernatural being. Gassho is merely an expression of coming together in oneness, that all things are connected. Nothing exists without the help and benefit and connection of everything else. And I think that is the ultimate expression of humility, knowing that everything we do and everything we've ever done is as a result of so many others' efforts. And so I think that is a beautiful part of our tradition, very meaningful part. Namo means to think upon, and Amida is the central figure on our shrine, and Butsu means Buddha. And Buddha is not a mystical, magical title. Buddha means one who is awake to see the truth as it truly is.
Namo Amida Butsu, to be centered and to live our lives centered on the teachings of the Buddha.
Expressing our gratitude for receiving so much compassion from all the beings around us, even though we really don't deserve it.
Namo Amida Butsu.
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 Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, Namanda, Namanda.
Namanda, 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 Namanda.
Namanda, Namanda, Namanda.
You can't share what you don't have, and you can't teach what you don't know.
Okay. So I'm going to stop recording.